Hello everyone, this is Visual Novel Gamer here, and I am back with Katawa Shoujo. Last time, me and Lily went to the city to get a gift for Hanako for her birthday. And I'm assuming this part is going to be all about her birthday, but you never know, so let's see. Muto reads equations and formulas to us one by one in his usual unenthusiastic, non-tone directly from the book. It's possible that he might be excited about what he teaches us. Sometimes he could display an awkward speech for passion for it, as if he's starting to get into the material. Most days, however, are like this, where we're covering it's fairly simple, so I find it increasingly difficult to keep my concentration on him. It's not too long until my legs begin aching again, which only makes it even harder. I almost was starting to regret walking around the city yesterday with Lily. Since leaving the hospital, I've done very little physical exertion. Walking to and from the local corner store hardly counts. Despite Emi's attempts when I first arrived in Yamako, I largely given up on the idea of even returning to my old level of fitness. I have little doubt that's why walking around town for so many hours has made me quite so sore. It's depressing and it reminds me of one more thing I can't do since I had my heart attack. It makes me feel pathetic. Now, Izabaki? It's odd for Muto to ask Hanako a question, but not unheard of. She quickly jumps to her feet, a little startled, and immediately pins her eyes onto him. She knows that Muto's calling on her is rare, so all eyes in the class are going to be on her. This way, she doesn't run the risk of making eye contact with anyone else. Yes? In this particular example of a redox reaction, the combustion of methane reaction actually produces one more product that is listed. That product is... Even though it's a softball question, she timidly waits a bit before answering, biting down slightly on her lower lip, as if to keep her concentration. Well done. That is an exothermal reaction, with the reaction given more heat than is put into it. Receiving a nod from Muto, Hanako takes her seat once again and gives a relieved sigh. Shaky start, but it's something. It'll be nice to take her out for her birthday, somewhere different from the usual isolation of her room and the tea room. With the progress she made until now, I don't think she'll have much of a problem going to the city. Right then, for the remainder of class, I'd like you to work in groups of 3 or 4 on the problems in Chapter 12. I'll be here if you need me. Muto sits down behind his desk, pulls some loose sheets out of a folder, and starts on some kind of paperwork of his own. I thought teachers were supposed to do that kind of thing after class, not during it. Regardless, I look to my right to pick out someone to form a group with. Given the 2 smiling faces hovering near mine, I don't think I'm going to get much say in that matter. I suppose we're a group then. Chan, you want to work together? Okay, that's great. It's really been a while. The class begins the process of noisy, shifting the desk around while she's doing the same as she puts hers in front of mine. She's a little lucky not to be able to hear the din of the classroom, which is loud enough to cause some discomfort. Truth be told, working with Shizune and Misha is probably a good outcome. Shizune and I are pretty good at the subject, and Misha has really nice handwriting. As I look to Misha, I notice a tall figure behind her. The shadow catches Misha's attention as well, and she turns to face the dark-haired observer. Good afternoon, Hanako. Hello. Shizune finally notices Hanako after looking up and following the gaze of Misha and I. In quick measures, she taps Misha on the shoulder to get her attention before signing away. Shishan says if you're looking for a group, you can join ours. Hanako looks down and blushes a little at the offer. Out of all the people in the class, Hanako is most familiar with the three of us, so it's reasonable that she comes to us first. Then again, her actually coming up to a group with the intention of joining them is something she apparently very rarely did before. She leaves gratefully to drag her desk over, and Sasune and Misha wheel back to me as soon as her back is turned. ... I guess we get to play again, Hee-chan. You hardly ever play with us anymore. I wonder why. You two always seem to have some ulterior motive. ... That hurt, Hee-chan. I almost think you were insulting me. But it's Hee-chan, so I know that you're joking. Such a great sense of humor about it. It would be awful if someone were to take advantage of your good nature, like making you help them with their work. ... Wahahaha. Sasune seems excited for a second, a little surprised that I'm willing to challenge her, but when she sees Hanako coming back, she backs off with a smile. I guess the mind games are over early today. Hanako gently sets down her desk in front of Misha. Her eyes are locked downwards, and I'm left wondering why until I look around the class. Most are busy setting up their own groups, but a few are casting curious glances at her. At this range, it's hard to tell whether that is where their interest in her ends, or if they are talking about her as well. It's strange. No one bats an eye when Hanako runs out of the class to avoid group work, but now that she's making an effort, they're staring at her as if she'd done something wrong. Well, all more to sort ourselves out, spreading our textbooks and worksheets around the large surface created by the four joint desks, and it long before the class as a whole gets down to work. Hi, Hee-chan. It's nice to finally work with you. Yeah. ... Are you the reason Hee-chan has been avoiding us lately? Sasune says it's a little rude, but if Hee-chan wanted to spend time with a cute girl, it's understandable. I don't think it's like that. Hanako starts to fidget, amused to this kind of attention. I think that an odd person would drop the conversation by now, but Misha is like the antithesis of Hanako. Part of that includes being blind to ordinary social cues, while Hanako is overly sensitive to them. Because of that, Misha barrels ahead with the question too quickly for me to get a chance to interject and guide the discussion somewhere more comfortable. Really? So, he wasn't hanging out with you yesterday? No. I guess... Sorry about that, that was thunder. Give me 1 second. And I'm back. I guess my cover being blown already. Lily did want Hanako to know that we were out buying presents for her, let alone planning her birthday party. Wouldn't it be a good idea for her to find out? Yeah, I was doing something else. You know how it is. Really? I wonder what was so important for Hee-chan to blow us off like that. If it wasn't to spend time with Hanako, then what could it be? It's really interesting. Now this is starting to feel like an interrogation. I'm surprised at how Misha is able to exert such a feeling of pressure without actually intending to. Were you with Lily? Out of nowhere, Hanako manages to stumble on the answer. She might be dreadful quiet and shy, but she's very intuitive. What makes you say that? Yesterday, Lily said something similar. ... Suspicious, Hee-chan. I demand that you explain yourself. Hey, shouldn't we be doing the assignment? But it's so mysterious. Even Hanako wants to know. I turn to Hanako. It's true, from the expression on her face, it's obvious that she wants to know as well. And I think we're past the point where I could weasel out of having to provide an explanation. I apologized to Lily and Mama. She really did want to keep it a secret, but now it doesn't seem possible anymore. I feel a rush of conflicting emotions so jumbled that I could rarely identify them, but they crash around in my head as I try to calm down and speak. Alright, I'll tell you. I went into town with Lily, but it wasn't what you think. Lily and I were, for Hanako's birthday, the cat is out of the bag, but it looks like Hanako is trying to take it a little better than I thought she would. A brief silence passes around our little group. Sasune and Misha look at each other sheepishly. I could tell that they didn't expect their game to turn out like this. Misha looks up to Hanako in order to apologize and pauses. Hanako is staring at the middle of her desk and barely moving, a milling expression on her face. I guess I was wrong about her taking it well. Hanako, I'm sorry. There's a few seconds pause, but Hanako lifts and shakes her head. It's okay. Her expression looks odd, like she's very tired. That doesn't seem natural, but it's nothing alarming. Nobody really wants to continue with the current conversation. So we open our textbooks and begin our group work. This is pretty dull. While the equations were supposed to be worked out as a group, we take a while. Most of it's going to be boringly mechanical. It also didn't help that that didn't go as bad as it could have. It has left an awkward atmosphere around us. Still, we manage. Asuna's face betrays that she has about the same expectations of our work as I do, and the two of us begin to write our group's results. Misha, on the other hand, is scrouching up her lips and very visibly trying to make heads or tails of what we're doing. Hanako is looking on quietly, absorbing what we write and what I say. She usually has the same expression when the teacher speaks. It's a shame her attendance is so unreliable. With the way she takes in information, I think she'll do quite well in class, if she actually followed the lessons regularly. I wonder if this may be why Sasune seems so hard on her. Hey Hanako, do you understand this? Misha looks to Hanako, but I suspect her hopes is more to find a comrade in ignorance rather than genuine help. Not really, guess. I'm surprised how tense she is in answering, but she settles back down. She breathes out, and the way her upper body and head lowers reminds me of a deflating balloon. You okay? I could go over this bit if you want. Hanako shakes her head slightly, but then again, I don't think she needs the extra explanation. Despite what she said, Misha quickly interjects, entirely oblivious, and I end up slowly going through how we ended at one of our results step by step. Times like this remind me that the kind of work may not be mechanical for everyone, but rather feels the way to me due to my grasp of the subject. It's a satisfying feeling. As well as Misha begins her ball fist into an open hand in realization, I discover another nice feeling. My explanation got through to her and she manages to work out the next equation by herself with a minimum of guidance. Throughout all this, Hanako is unusually unresponsive. She's normally very quiet, but one can still see her eyes roving periodically over the landscape of the classroom in front of her, or anxiously moving her hands in some way to shift her shoulders periodically. Right now, those small movements that I've gotten used to seeing are all missing. Someone not moving at all is definitely weird. Even Misha can tell there's something wrong. Hanako, are you sure you're okay? Yes. Are you sure? I'm fine. A little more strongly this time, but she turns away as she says it. It only makes me doubt her answer. Yet at the same time, I can tell she doesn't want to talk about it further. Having already had one very awkward conversation today, and I'm still not fully over it. I don't want to pursue the matter too much either. We settle back in our routine, debating over our answers, whether a doubt comes up. But as time goes on, I notice that Hanako isn't talking at all. It's frustrating. She had made so much progress. It makes me a little angry at Shishune and Misha for undoing the surprise Lily had wanted to keep secret so much. I know I'm at fault too. Maybe I could have kept it under wraps somehow. Shishune has noticed Hanako's silence as well, and is also getting antsy. I can see it on her face. It shows that even though she's deaf, Shishune has perceived Hanako's unusual quietness sooner than Misha. ... Hanako, you're being too quiet. You have to contribute too. Someday we might work on a bigger project like this, like one that's so big that it's worth celebrating afterwards, like ice cream or cake. If you act like this, we won't take you along. I can tell they're trying to tease her to bring her out of her shell, but I don't think that kind of approach will work on Hanako. It will just make her feel worse. Guys, don't tease her like that. Hichin, it's all in good fun. Jisune says she teases everyone anyway. They do back off though, with Misha moving away from the issue by asking me a question again, or seeing how difficult the problem she is working on is. I don't know whether it was a skillful dodge or mere coincidence. It takes way more of our time than necessary because Jisune keeps disagreeing with me while I'm trying to explain it to Misha, and Misha is quick to believe her over me. So quick, in fact, that she forgets to translate what Misha is saying. Hey, the clock is kind of ticking down. We should speed up a little. Hichan, you sound a little like Shishan there. Just because I look at my watch. Geez, is that really all it takes? Time management and I'm suddenly the student council president? Uh-oh. I look at Hanako's desk to see how she's doing and freezes. Our papers are covered in equations, but Hanako's only halfway there. It seems like she hasn't written anything in the past 20 minutes. When I realize that, I want to kick myself for how dumb I've been. I should have known that someone as fragile as Hanako wasn't just going to brush off what happened so easily. But I've been too eager to move on from an awkward situation to notice. She has always been slowly shutting down for the last half hour, and I have no clue. Her pen is still in her hand, but she doesn't slowly spin it around like she usually does. There isn't a single idle movement from Hanako. Only the fact that she tries to inch away once she feels Sasune, Misha, and me looking at her tells me that she is even still conscious. We look away, and at least in my case, it's plainly out of shame that it's gotten to this point. Though on the outside she has shut down almost completely, I know that it's a different story on the inside. What kind of things could she be thinking about as she tries harder and harder to shrink into herself? As if by willing it, could she somehow disappear? Everyone is looking at her now, quickly stealing quick glances in between putting the finishing touches on their work. Misha attempts to ask what's wrong, but that only makes the problem worse. If she weren't frozen to her seat, she would probably run out of the room right now. Misha's questions are loud enough to be heard throughout the entire classroom. And for a second, I'm ready to snap at her because I can only imagine how much worse it's making Hanako feel. Of course, if I were to do that, it would only make the situation worse. I believe that Hanako had gotten stronger, and she has, but it wasn't enough, and I was too eager to believe in it. Now she's terrified, alone in the middle of the classroom, and there's nothing I could do without drawing more attention to her. It's infuriating. Misha worry and even Sasune is biting her lip. None of us know how to deal with this situation, so I decided to call Muto. His judgment would probably be better than ours. I look up and manage to catch his eyes, silently monitoring for him to come over. I want to make as little fuss about this as possible, since if there's anything that would make this worse, it's more attention being focused on her. I know that Hanako can see everyone staring at our group, specifically at her, because they know that if there's a problem, it has to be her. Everyone knows her, and it's the first thing anyone's mind would lead to. Her reputation for being a tard has marked her as an unusual person, even in unusual Yamako. Who knows how many times they have stared at her before. Maybe it's because she seems the class staring at her so much that she fears their gazes like she does, chewing from them. The time it takes Muto to walk over must be like an eternity to Hanako, as she looks as if she's about to fall over. Muto quietly begins to ask us what's wrong before catching himself as he sees Hanako. Did we upset her? Don't worry. Muto bends down after calming Misha and looks intently at Hanako's face. Hi, Izawaki. Can I help you at all? His voice is hushed and gentle. Everyone's acting so different around Hanako now that the whole class has noticed something's wrong with her. Hanako doesn't respond, so Muto gently rests a hand on her shoulder. She starts shaking at his touch, but won't even look up. Hanako continues to stare into the equations on her desk, vision so unfocused that I doubt she even sees them. She's worse than before. I remember that not even an hour ago she was able to talk. She was able to talk to him almost normally. Muto grimaces a bit as he stands again, and now that his expression's changed, I can see he wasn't exactly unaffected by what happened either. He takes a breath to settle himself before speaking in a very quiet voice. I'm a little impressed at how quickly he takes control of the situation. Is that it? Nothing wrong then? Muto seems to say that in no one in particular. However, his voice sounds convincing enough that most of the people who were looking over at Hanako now turn away, getting back to their work. He gives a quick glance to his right and left. Several people at their desks around us are still staring curiously, but other than that, we seem to have escaped attracting too much attention. Muto noticed me doing the same as him and smiles a little, in his usual silted way. I think for Izabaki's sake that it would be good to quickly take her somewhere away from the others. Nikai, Haramachi, could you please take Itsumizi out of the classroom? I'll keep everyone settled, so please don't worry about anything but her, okay? He looks at Misha to tell her to interpret as his words for Sasune, but she's already finishing translating by the time he does, so it's remarkable how little thought she needs to sign, as she still looks quite dazed otherwise. Nodding, Sasune and I stand and move to either side of Hanako. Muto steps back to allow us some room and talks to the tables behind us, as some people there have begun to mutter between themselves about what's going on. We look at each other before lowering ourselves in unison, taking one arm around each of our shoulders, lifting. The two of us begin to walk at a slow pace to make sure we don't inabruptly hurt her. As much as we try to make this look normal, I'm quite sure there would be many more gazes on us if not for Muto's distraction. Eventually, thankfully, we reach the door and go through. Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway. It doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask if she wants to just sit down. For a while, we simply stand in one place and wait for her to say something. Sasune gently rubs Hanako's shoulder a little, but there's no response. Eventually, she shakes her head a little when Sasune tries again. Both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Sasune hand again comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder as she awakens, her face lifting to two very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm intently worried she might freak out or do something extreme, but those fears prove unwarranted, as her expression slowly changes from almost lifeless blank stare to a more normal withdrawal shyness. She wordlessly lifts her head, eyes evasive, moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something, anything to help. I can't, though. I don't really know what just happened or even what caused it. I feel helpless and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. Sasune sighs before looking at me. Even without words, I think I can tell what she's asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? I try to communicate my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through to her very well. Sasune makes a dreary face in response to my gestures, confirming my impression. She stabs her finger in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, and towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing at herself, then pointing at the door to the classroom. I get the feeling Sasune is better at this than I am. I nod, since her plan is, after all, the same as mine. Sasune gets ready to move her exit, but she only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. Are you okay with me taking you to the Hanako's office? Oh, Jesus. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything or nod, but she stands up in place by herself, and when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I read about people being chronogenic before, but I think this time I'm seeing it for myself. She looks extremely tired. After everything that's happened, it's not a surprise. After Hanako silently takes off her shoes and lies on the bed in the infirmary, the nurse and I take our leave. He shuts the curtain behind us. We both take a seat and I quietly and thoroughly go through everything that happened in quite some detail. I want to understand what happened, and the nurse has a good a chance as anyone of knowing. He nods throughout my expression, his face looking troubled as I finish. It must have been very troubling for you to have seen all this. I'll be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either. Well, yes and no. It's complicated. I'm sure you heard about the concept of patient confidentiality at some point. This is a bit of a minefield in that respect. I'm going to put this pretty bluntly. This is a matter for Izawaki, me, and her therapist. I move to protest, but think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through, rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. I understand. Good. I wish I could help you more, but I think that what Izawaki needs right now isn't somebody prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs someone to be there for her. She needs a friend. For what it's worth, I think you've done well in bringing her here. Sounds like you and your friends dealt with the situation well, too. I'll give you a lollipop or a sticker as a reward, but you might be a little too old for either. He used a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten the atmosphere. I'm not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Thanks, you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate the thought, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. She'll be let back to her dormitory room this evening, so you could visit her then. I agree with him before standing. It feels like all I could ever do around the nurse is humbly agree to what he says, but it was the same with the doctor in the hospital too. The walk back to the classroom is a long one, my mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall, not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Muto raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk. Mikai, I take it Izabaki is in the infirmary now? Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Muto nods, assuming me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before raising from his desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nikai, I'll see you in the hallway, please. His speech is hushed, but overall, he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. As we go out into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soulless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. Nikai, what do you think the purpose of this school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students. Muto scratches his head as he shakes. No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talk-in whiteboards, that kind of thing. Look around, Nikai. This school is about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in a regular education. Huh? Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort? The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No. That's right, we want you all to leave here as useful members of society. I'm not quite sure I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Nikai. You are possibly the first student I had that gets my lectures. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? I can't say I have. Well, what have you considered for the future, that is? I can't say that I put much thought into my future. For a moment, I distantly remembered of Lily's questioning me about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was grasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future. And besides, medical problems seems much bigger to me right now. Muto gives a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity. Have you had balanced facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff? You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future. Right. As I raised my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Muto's totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? Well, Nakai, it's really not that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not... Muto cuts me off before I could even think about finishing my sentence. Izabaki case is very much like that, but instead of CPR or a pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The facility was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave class, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams. So it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find fault in this argument. While her condition does, at first, seem to be hopefully psychologically, its worst effect had been on her psyche. It still puts me off, though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibilities for her problem? Surely she can't go on like this her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to the school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako? I believe, well, I hope that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. He takes care to emphasize the last word as if it wasn't clear enough already, and gives me a moment to muller his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'll be able to concentrate much anyway. After all that's happened, so I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecture before now. You'll collect your things. I'll see you tomorrow. Right, thank you. Mujo's roundabout speech has left my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako, if anything, and my mind is all the more confused after what Mujo said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Sune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself. But I don't know whether that is just male bravery or a genuine concern. While I collect Hanako's things and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her and that I'm there for her, but while I might be able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay on my bed, trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tell me that she was in one for a lot longer than I was. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes and ambitions. Not even her taste in music, foods, and movies, all the little things that I knew about all of my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all this time I've been with her and Lily? In the distance, I hear the bell signaling the end of classes. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around and return to the dorms. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thoughts short. It startles me, as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamako. Hello? Hisao Nakai speaking. Oh, Hisao. I'm glad I found you. You aren't at any of our usual spots, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. I probably should have guessed it would be Lily, and she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even though her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me. I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure, I'll appreciate the chance to have a bit of a talk, actually. Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Okay, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. I rap my knuckles on her door and she soon calls me in. Lily sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table. Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Cecile? What happened today? My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best as I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, Susune and Misha questioning our foyer to the town getting discovered, and the subsequent panic attack. I added Susune's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now isn't the time to explain it. I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Her birthday has caused problems before, but I had hoped that she would have improved with you around, and the more intense therapy. Where is Hanako now? Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she'd gone back to her room by now. She wasn't in the library or the tea room when I checked, so I can only assume that too. You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? Lily shifts her position, the body's way of saying she's searching for the right words. My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her, and to spend some time with my family. What, is she alright? When do you leave? I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment, though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight I could get. Stable. That code for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that, and to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable. That's a relief. Yes, but this means that I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. I wanted to tell you now so we could think of something before we told Hanako, but after today's events, I'm not even sure if there's going to be an issue if we simply cancel the party. I don't think that is such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we are planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for your going away, right? You make it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week, though possibly two. That's one relief at least. With that in mind, what do you suggest then? Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year? Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was at least eating well. This is perhaps the most impressed I have ever seen her and hear Lily act. I feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Perhaps it would be better to throw a party before you leave then. That does sound like it would be the easiest option. I think we should at least tell Hanako both about your trip and her party. I have her things from class as well. That's a good point. Should we go and visit her now? I think that would be good. That would be a good idea. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking, and these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Sorry about that, I got a call. As the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Ah. Hanako's room is starkly bare and modern. There are no decorations on the plain white walls, a plain black dark blue blanket, and only a few books, papers, and purely untidy items on the shelves. Even her bed sheets are monochrome. The entire room feels as subtle as Hanako's character. Hanako herself is lying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to shut herself and the tracks left by the tears still sit on her reddened cheeks. I quietly walk over and set her bag down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much. Hey, Hanako. Isao told me about what happened today. Are you alright? Hanako's eyes open, though only a little. I'm okay. She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimace before I can hide it. So sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now. She really doesn't look nor sound okay, though. At least she seems more calm than she was before. She still looks as if the slightest breath could emotionally break her. I said it before, right? You don't need to be sorry for this. This sounds right. I shouldn't have hid something like a birthday celebration for you. I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level. I'm the one who should be sorry, Hanako. Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lily. She looks at Lily for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytical eyes of hers. Lily must have made the right impression on her, as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed and shift to sitting on its side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. Hearing Hanako shuffling, Lily moves forward and feels out the side of her bed, eventually taking the seat beside her and taking Hanako's left hand in both of hers. The feeling of me being out of place when the two are together has lessened in that time that we know each other, but it's still occasionally very much there. This is one of those times, I think. Lily, if you want me to go. I don't want that. Lily and I are both surprised at Hanako's mustering her courage. A half mumble okay is all I could give her in reply, and I take her desk chair to sit in. Hanako, I'm afraid I have some bad news. So Lily's going to break the news now, with Hanako having affirmed our relationship so clearly. Perhaps Lily thought the timing was good, or at least as good as it will ever be. My aunt has fallen ill, so I need to return to my family for a time. Concern replaced Hanako's remorseful expression. Your family? You mean in Scotland, right? That's right. Akira and I will be leaving Saturday. So you're going away? I won't be gone for long. Probably only a week or two. I'll be back before you know it, and Hisao will be here, right? That's right. I'm not going anywhere. Hanako seems to take only minor comfort in this, but she does manage to summon some resolve from somewhere inside of her. Is your aunt going to be alright? I'm not sure. Silence falls. It's depression that the thing that truly brought Hanako out of her root. It's another's misfortune. I decided to bring up the other matter that brought us here to distract at least in part from this mental feeling protruding the room. Anyway, we were thinking that it would be a good idea to have a going away party for Lily, and it could double as, yeah. I cut myself off before mentioning her birthday, as that seems to be a trigger for such fierce emotions within her. Lily gives Hanako's hand a gentle squeeze. Is it alright by you, Hanako? It won't be anything lavish or overdone. Just something small in my room. So, just in the school. Just us. That's right, the three of us. Just the three of us. If you like, I could ask Akira to come as well. Uh, okay, you're only going for a week? 1 week or 2? Yes, I promise you won't. It it won't be any longer. Okay. Most people will be upset hearing about her friend's family members falling ill, and happy at having a party. But with Hanako, it seems that both events are on the same level. All right then. You look like you need a rest, Hanako. So it might be best if we all went back to our rooms for now. You know that if you ever want anything, you could always talk to me or Hasao, right? Lily's voice is persuasive, an unusual edge for someone as confident in herself as she. I understand. Thank you, Lily, Lisa. Well then, good night, Hanako. Night. I'll let out a long breath after the door closes behind us. It feels a little like I've been deep underwater and only now have been able to come up for air. Lily doesn't seem to be doing well either. She looks pale and drawn. Are you alright? I'm just a little tired. It's been hectic, really. Have you slept at all? A little tired sounds like an understatement, given how you look. I think I managed to get a couple hours of sleep before class. I'll be okay. I feel bad about pressing Lily right now. I think both of us are pretty tired from everything that's happened as well. I think you should get some rest. It's been a big day and staying up isn't good for your complexion. Thank you for your concern, Sal. Good night then. Okay, night, Lily. I leave Lily in the hallway as she opens the door to her room and begin to make my way to my. As I walk down the quiet hallway, I can't get the image of Hanako out of my mind. Huddled and pitiable, lying helplessly with tears on her cheeks. I begin to think that she was just a normal, if extremely shy person, but her problems run much deeper. Trying to take a relationship further than what we share now when she's so fragile and vulnerable wouldn't be right. I don't need to be more than her friend in order to protect her, to try and stop anything like this ever happening again. The possibilities of my feeling for her going beyond that doesn't matter anymore. Anko is precious to me, and that's why I can't take advantage of her. But even so, there's still that sting I feel when I think that way. For now, I need to sleep. Tomorrow's hopefully will be a better day. Yeah, I'm gonna end it right here. A more upsetting episode than I thought it was gonna be, but yeah. This has been a Visual Novel Gamer here. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, tell me how your day is going, and see you all next time. Peace.